Wiggy brought up Potster, Jermaine Wiggins, brought up that he felt like Jaylen Brown ended that game last night was looking unhappy on the bench. Was he like 4 minutes?
Yeah, like the last 4 minutes of the game, it was weird. He picked up his fifth foul, and then he went to the bench, and then he got like a technical foul, nothing crazy. And then the last like 4 minutes of the game, 3.5 minutes of the game's relatively close, and one of your best defenders, because at this point in time, you got Donovan Mitchell, who's really, going off. But one of your best defenders, obviously your second best offensive player, is sitting on the bench the whole, remainder of the game. I get it, you got 5 fouls, but in this situation, you're playing to win the game. And there was one clip where they just showed like everybody kind of standing up and him sitting behind. And listen, I would be upset if I'm one of the best players and I'm not closing out games.
I think, and I go back to their win on Sunday and how he and Jason Tatum were saying that Joe Mazzulla at halftime was saying to them, guys, if you're tired, let me know. If you just don't have the juice, let me know. I'll get right guys to come in and help out. And that's what I took from it. I understand I'm a Jaylen Brown apologist, so this is where Wiggy and I differ. I don't think he looked upset. I think that he was just on the bench because he didn't have the juice in him at the end of that game. He carried them at the beginning. Even Wiggy said that at the beginning.
He didn't play that much because he was in foul trouble. So it wasn't like he was out of gas.
But maybe he was out of gas just once he got into foul trouble, and that's why he kept making silly fouls. To me, I didn't take anything from that. But I understand.
Yeah. It was a weird situation that your second best player on the team is not playing the final 4 minutes of the game.
Especially when he has suggested that he's adjusting to a new role.
Yeah, because, we've seen Porzingis pick up 5 fouls before, and then at the end of the game, he's not sitting on the bench. It was a weird situation for me. And then, like I said, they showed him a couple times. They really didn't mention it on the broadcast.
What? The Celtics didn't talk about it on the broadcast?
Well, remember, it was a TNT broadcast. So, they didn't really mention it. was Grant Hill and what is his name? Ian or Ian, whatever the hell he calls himself. But yeah, it was a weird situation where he looked at one point, he just looked a little disappointed. And I get it. I would be pissed.
I have a hot take, Greg. After the trade deadline, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
The Celtics will go on like a 15-game win streak.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it, Curtis.
I think that this is just it. I'm sure Dakota doesn't have a line to the Celtics locker room. But there's been enough weird stuff going on with the team. If you're hearing rumors, Greg, I'm sure Jaylen Brown's heard a dozen. And there's been a lot of theorizing about what the new owners would have to do, who the new owners will be. Athletes, Wiggy, as you know, are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like the Celtics are going to make us forget about the first half pretty quick.
After the All-Star break?
Well, they played half the season already. So after the trade deadline, the final, they're going to go on a big run, and they will be the 1 seed in the NBA playoffs.
All right.
Well, they certainly beat I would argue with Kristaps Porzingis that people have been saying that the Cavs were lucky. They beat the 1 seed last night. So they're.
Does anybody think do you think the Cavs think they're better than the Celtics?
No.
No.
I think they look and go, all right, in order for us to beat this team, we got to be on our A game. We can't have a horrible night of shooting. We got to, because last night the Celtics were killing them on the offensive boards. I know, what the hell's the dude's name with the afro? He had
Jared Allen?
Yeah, Jared Allen. I know he had a bunch of rebounds, but the Celtics had a good opportunity, second chance points. It just last night, if you looked at, they were up by 20. If you just looked at the game, and they weren't shooting well, I agree with you. Jaylen Brown put you in that game because I think at one point he had every point. I think it was like 13 points, and then it was just and then the Celtics, Derek White got hot in the fourth quarter.
Oh, also Porzingis. Had had a great game.
Yeah,
last night.
they have just so many weapons. Like, it's just so Porzingis can get hot. We know Brown can get hot. Derek White can get hot. Drew Holiday can get you some buckets. P. Pritch off the bench.
I mean, put some respect on Sam Hauser's name, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jason Tatum.
The murder cornet.